let's talk the support position for a moment. Unfortunately, the League community has very strict rules for playing support. It means you're going to ward the entire map. It's your fault if the carry dies. And stealing kills and creep score is bad. So, if you're going to do well in this position, you need to learn this general rule of thumb to stick by. Do not talk to your team ever. And I mean this in every sense of the word. You might ping that you're on your way to help gank some lane, but just do not say anything and you will be better off for it. Because if anything goes wrong, it's your fault. If they got Baron or they are doing Baron, it is your fault. If they're doing Dragon, also your fault. So just keep quiet and play to the best of your ability. And try and help your carry win lane, even if he is complete garbage. Try and keep him from feeding. There is nothing more you can do. Alright fellas, riddle me this. Your last pick, you have no choice but to support, and you're trying your damnedest to carry games. Well, there's an option from support. There is a king and a queen that you can pick from. Now the queen, easily, is Leona. Her passive can proc multiple times, which causes her damage to go through the roof. And you end up 100 to 0ing somebody with no trouble. Now the king, without a shadow of a doubt, has to be Alistar. Because he is incredibly tanky through his skills. CC bot. If he can't do anything else, he can do some CC. Now, the problem with Alistar though is he does not counter Leona in the slightest. Pre-6, you and your carry are incredibly vulnerable because Leona has also a crap ton of CC, but she has a lot of damage to go with it. In a perfect world, however, there are two types of supports. There are the CC supports and the healer supports. Those are the two ends of the spectrum. Now obviously there are some in between, such as Taric. Healer supports are best played when both teams are loaded with tanks. Like you've got Sejuani, Trundle, Darius, things like that. They do not do particularly well when you've got all assassins everywhere. Such as Kha'Zix. I have a Fizz right here. You might see Talon and LeBlanc. But healer supports do have their place. In this particular clip, there's a Nasus who's going to face tank this tower. Miss Fortune is going to be in the back, raining havoc. And Fizz is the squishy who's going all in. Now pay attention to who I'm healing. Now having powerful, sustainable healing is great for tanks. The fact is, crowd control cannot be overrated when you're dealing with squishy targets that are going to go down quick or bring you down quickly. Alright, so worst case scenario, like I said before, your last pick, and you have to support. What if Leona already gets picked because of a duo queue, or because somebody knows they can carry with Leona? She's actually a very popular pick lately. There are a couple ways to handle it. One of them being Alistar. He is fairly reliable against ADCs who don't have a dash. You know, he's reliable against Jinx and Misfortune. Not so much Graves or, you know, things that can close distance. And that doesn't stop Leona from locking down your ADC and doing some damage of her own. So, what other option is there? You can't stop the damage. Let me introduce you to my favorite all-time support. Yeah, I'll have to say that, because she negates any CC. It's Morgana. Level up the spell shield a couple of times, and even Akali can't bring your ADC down. Now this is just a death sentence. There is no minions blocking him. EZ can not only get the damage from his low cooldown flash, but he also has no problems shooting his mystic shot at Draven. Now, there's no incoming minion wave, so even if you have flash, you're probably going to die because of, you know, EZ's flash and his skill shots. But luckily, Draven doesn't get stunned, he doesn't get rooted in place, none of that. That's why Morgana is just my favorite. She also, notably, has one of the longest CC durations in the game, with a maxed out Q. Her bind lasts 3 seconds. That's a long time when you do manage to catch somebody. Now just watch it again, as she even has her ult at this point, but it doesn't matter because she can't lock him down so that EZ can bring the pain. And now at this point, we can even return the damage because she's on our side of the minions. And she has nothing up but her ult. But now, before you think that Morgana is the real queen, keep this in mind. In lane, it takes a lot more effort than Leona to get a kill. It takes a lot more effort to push people out of lane. You are not an instant threat. You cannot deny CS just by being at, behind their minion line. It doesn't work that way. But she is very workable if you like the champion. And she's also great in team fights. She can also self-initiate, but the real problem with that is that she's very squishy. As in, really squishy. Which is why using her mid is just much easier, I'll say. Like I said, even in mid, you're not going to instantly get kills or anything. You can force a flash with your ultimate up and the jungler tank, but when you're running on support items, you can't really initiate team fights because you really want to have that speed boost from the Talisman and a Zhonya's. If you're missing one of those, it's very difficult to initiate. Now that I've gone over ADC and support, Hopefully anyone who's watched this can go into bottom lane, not so much thinking that you're a pro, but having a strategy, having an idea in mind of what you want. Just knowing what it takes to win a game. Whether it be winning your lane and getting your carry fed, or keeping your lane alive and going into a team fight with a strategy. There are powerful but cheap tricks that require a duo Q. Think of Thresh with his lantern. You can pull in a jungler from off screen in the fog of war and hook somebody at the same time. Now this is a very powerful strategy, but normally in solo queue your jungler is not going to wait for that lantern. He's not going to expect you to be able to do that and land the hook, and that's not going to win you the game either. For specific supports, you can try other things such as going AP Janna and splitting the enemy team apart by flashing in between them and just separating them. It does work. I've used it before, but it's not a guarantee, and it's not necessarily going to win you the game, and it's definitely going to get you killed. But until next time, perhaps junglers, play to win, fellas.